Hello everyone. Today I'm going to teach you the concept of power cooking. It's prepping meals ahead that you can pull out of the freezer on a busy night. So if you ever find yourself rushed for dinner, you don't know what to make for dinner, or you're going to be you want to gift somebody some meals, I'm going to show you how to put 5 meals together in less than 30 minutes. And it won't take 30 minutes here because I've done some of the prep ahead just to keep things moving quickly. But let me tell you this, when you are making these meals, you're going to use the same protein for all of them. I'm using ground beef today. You can use vegetarian crumbles like Boca crumbles. You can use ground turkey. I've even had people use ground wild game like elk or venison. So use ground whatever you like. Today I'm going to teach you how to make chili, stroganoff, Italian beef, sloppy joes, and tacos. And now remember, change the protein to suit your family's needs, but use the same one for all of them and it'll make it even faster. So I've already cooked all of the ground beef ahead of time. I'm actually making these as a gift. A friend of mine is having surgery soon, and so I'm gonna bring her these 5 meals that I'm about to make for you. So if you know somebody that's having a baby or moving, or you've got a college kid, whatever, these make great meals too. So cook up all your ground beef with some onions and garlic, let it cool, and then you're gonna divide it up between your freezer bags. Turn the cuffs to make them easy to fill. So let's go ahead and fill them up. So the first one we're gonna do together is tacos. Now here's the cool thing about the taco recipe. Think about using it as a base for lots of things. You might be doing tacos, you might be doing nachos, you might be doing burritos. We're adding some salsa, and I'm gonna post all of what I'm doing here shortly. We need 3/4 cup of water and a package of taco seasoning. That's it. So when you flavor up your meat and then freeze it, it's gonna be really easy to do, to pull out, because it's already cooked. So then just turn it up, and when you're freezing food, it's really important you squish out the air. So kind of fold it over, squeeze out the air, and then start mushing it up. I think mushing is a word. So if you've got kids, they can totally help you do this. If you are preparing meals for elderly parents, divide them in half and use quart-sized bags. All right, next tip for freezing. You want to flatten it out so you don't freeze it in a big blob. So why? Well, here I can see there's a little more air. I can push it out, and it means it will freeze quickly and it thaws quickly, because part of the issue is when we're in a hurry, we don't always remember to pull dinner out. So here's what I like to do. I double bag it. The second bag won't go to waste. It's not gonna get dirty. So bag it, pull the cuff so it fits nicely, and then you have the instructions. So if you're giving this as a gift, whoever's getting it will know what to do. So there's just a few ideas on ingredients, like getting some shredded cheese. So you just slip it between the 2 bags and zip it. Now we've got tacos. So let's go ahead, we're gonna come over here. Let's make some sloppy joes next. Sloppy joes, again, are really easy. You might serve them like sloppy joes. You might serve them like, a topper for baked potatoes. So I've got ground beef. I'm adding a cup of ketchup. Squeeze it all in there. And then I've got 2 tablespoons of our barbecue rub. It's really good. And let's see what else we need to add to that. Oh, some cider vinegar. So we need 2 teaspoons, of apple cider vinegar. And that's all there is to this one. So if any of you like to go camping, here's a quick tip for you. Make all these meals ahead. Your meals will double as ice packs in your cooler. And then you can heat them up like on your Coleman stove or in your cast iron on the campfire. Okay, I'll finish squeezing those out in just a little bit. Next up, let's come over here. Woo! Did you get dizzy? I'm moving around my island so you can see. We'll make some beef stroganoff next. So in here I've got some mushrooms, and I'm just gonna finish slicing them up. I like to put them in my simple slicer. Fresh mushrooms. Now here's the other thing about these meals. Can you see? Super fast. If you make a batch of these, you'll discover quickly which ones are your family's favorites. So the next time you make them, you might not make one of each. You might decide, well, how many times do I want to eat beef stroganoff in the next 3 months? And then make enough batches for that. So we dump all the mushrooms in there, and I know it looks like a lot, but mushrooms are mostly water, so they cook down. So put that all in there. We need cream of mushroom soup. Let's see if I can get it up. There we go. Cream of mushroom soup, 1/4 cup of water, and then we'll add some pepper. Just eyeball it, right? I'll skip the salt. I'll let the family that's getting this decide how much salt they want. And then we need some, let me grab a clean one. Here's a clean one. Some paprika, and let me double check the paprika. We need a teaspoon of it. Okay, these are nice because they adjust. Okay, and then we add paprika. And that's it. So for this recipe, when they're ready to eat it, they'll just add some stroganoff, cook up some egg noodles, and it's ready. So mix it all up. And I'll finish that after, so you don't have to watch all that. And let's go on to the next recipe. So this one is chili. Very easy, once again. And you can use it in a variety of ways. You can put it on top of hot dogs. You can put it on top of baked potatoes. So for this one, we need a can of chili beans. So do you see how quick this can come together and how you can have completely different meals with one basic protein? So one of the documents that is going to be included in the attachment that I'm going to put in the comments in a little bit has 5 chicken recipes. And again, you can substitute, use a different protein if you want. You can use, if you're vegetarian or vegan, you can use some Gardein. You can use turkey, so you can use a different one. So let me show you the can opener. I opened all the cans ahead, but I saved one for you to do. If ever you can, avoid pulling the tab. You're gonna have sharp edges. And in this particular meal set, we're gonna be scraping out some tomato paste in a little bit. So if you've got sharp edges, it's gonna cut up your scraper. So just attach your can opener, give it a turn. And the recipe here calls for petite tomatoes. I couldn't get those, so I just have some fire roasted. You can use regular diced tomatoes if you like. And we just pull that lid off. We're gonna dump it in here. So this one I like to set up inside of a bowl because it's chili. It's very soupy and I do not want it to tip over. That would not be good. Most of these ingredients I was able to get at Aldi. So if you have an Aldi near you, it's awesome for that. The one thing I will not buy there are their Ziploc bags. The bags you use are important, so always use freezer bags so you don't end up with freezer burn. And Ziploc brand, I wish I had stock in that company. Maybe I do, I don't know. You'll find that they consistently zip, so they're wonderful. So I need a can of tomato paste. This is a big can, so I'm just gonna eyeball half of it. And again, I'll squish it up after we're done, double bagging everything so that I can slip the instructions in there. Okay, and can you believe it? We've only got one meal left to make together, and that is the Italian beef. Now, it's funny, I have literally done hundreds of this theme in people's homes. Hundreds of this show. Seriously, I'm not exaggerating. And when I moved to the Midwest and I made this Italian beef recipe, people kind of looked at me because they're serious about their Italian beef here. And they're usually using a roast and it cooks for a long time. And this one is made with ground beef and they're thinking, what? It actually is really good. And people really do like it. So again, same thing, ground beef. And we're gonna prep some fresh ingredients for this. So when you're taking your pepper core out, just use your thumb and push that core straight in. And you can just dump all your seeds out and you'll see you don't lose any part of your pepper. It's just like that. That is probably worth the price of admission right there, that quick tip on your peppers. So with this recipe, you're putting raw peppers in the bag and they're gonna go in the freezer. Will the peppers get soft? Yes, but you know what? They need to be soft for this recipe, so it's okay. We don't want them to be tender crisp, we want them to be soft, so it totally works. Of all of these recipes, the Italian beef one is probably my family's favorite. So we've got a red and a green pepper. We're gonna dump that into the bag. So if you're gonna be having like a family gathering, family reunion, and you're gonna be on meal patrol one night, you might make up a bunch of these Italian beef recipes and serve that. You can warm it up in a slow cooker and it's really easy. So I've got some red wine vinegar. You need an envelope of onion soup mix. So we dump that in, a little bit of water, and then we need just a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. My measuring spoon's over there. I don't know what else has got in it, so I'm just gonna use the cap. We need a tablespoon, so about a capful works. And that's it. So I'll show you how to finish this one off in case you're just joining me and you didn't see how I double bag everything. Once it's all in there, squeeze out your air and get it all mixed up. So it sort of marinades in the freezer. Now when you go to put these in the freezer, you want to spread them around. Don't put all 5 meals stacked on top of each other because it'll take a long time for that center one to freeze. So to keep the quality of your food, spread them around in your freezer, and then once they're solid, then you can stack them like files. So once we've got it all in there, squeeze, kind of flatten it out, double bag so that you can put your instructions in there. I love freezing things ahead. I freeze all sorts of things, and you will save so much time and so much waste when you do that. Now fold that inner cuff in, instructions on what's in there and what they need to do to finish it off. So in this case, all that has to happen is this Italian beef goes into a skillet or into the microwave to warm up because it's already cooked. And once it's warm, you add some shredded mozzarella or provolone on top, and then you serve it in hoagie rolls. If you want a low carb option, you skip the bread. You can just serve it on the side. And that is it. So there you go. So if you know somebody having a baby or could use some meal support, this is a really great option. Remember, squeeze out the air, make sure your ingredients are cool to start so that you won't have condensation and then end up having freezer burn. The meals last well for about 3 to 4 months, so you can be thinking ahead and make however many you think you might cook ahead. Cooking all your meat up in a big batch is easy with our 12-inch nonstick skillet. So that's what I did. I put it all in here with the garlic and the onions, and then I let it cool. I drain all of the meat in a colander, so it's in the sink. I'll post a video in the comments. I like to drain the meat in a colander and run cool water over the top. It gets more fat out. So for these meals, I definitely recommend you go with the lean meats. You get more. If you get like 80% lean, you're paying for 20% fat. So spend a little more and get more meat if you're buying the meat instead of the vegetarian crumbles. So there you go. 5 meals in just a few minutes. Give it a try. Check the comments in a little bit. I'll have a document with all of the instructions, your shopping list, assembly instructions, and even how to put the meals together. So if this helps you, please share it with someone else so that they can get a little bit of meal help too. It's great for beginner cooks. Take care.